Welcome to episode 2 of Cheryl Antonio, The Untold Story. The previous episode discussed the circumstances of the disappearance of Cheryl Antonio in Bowen on Anzac Day, the 25th of April 1998, and started to explore the relationship between Rachel and Robert Hytch. In this episode, I will explore this topic further and look at the evidence from witnesses about their observations of the relationship between Rachel and Robert. All of the witnesses stated that Robert had never admitted to being in a relationship with Rachel, yet several witnesses stated that they had observed behaviour between Robert and Rachel that indicated the possibility that they were involved. It can be easily explained that if they were in a relationship and were keeping it quiet, it was due to the obvious consequences and judgment that would result if it was revealed that they were involved in an intimate relationship. After all, Rachel was only 16 and Robert was 24. Then there's also the issue that Robert was the captain of the Surf Lifesaving Club, of which Rachel was also a member. Robert's father, Paul Hytch, had expressly stated to Robert that he needs to be careful about what may be perceived by the community if he were to be involved with Rachel in any way. And as Bowen is a small town and a close-knit community, rumours would potentially spread very quickly. One incident that was witnessed by a member of the community is an incident that occurred at Flagstaff Hill. Flagstaff Hill is a lookout on the southeast side of Bowen. It is not a through road, nor in any way close to either Robert's house, Rachel's house, Queens Beach, or Horseshoe Bay, where their surf lifesaving occurred. This incident was where a Mr. Andrew Phillips and Rachel got a lift from Robert after the surf lifesaving. Robert and Rachel were standing next to Robert's car, and Phillips observed Robert's right hand in the right rear pocket of Rachel's jeans. Phillips said Robert had his hand in her pocket for several minutes and then suddenly removed it when he saw Phillips notice it. The three of them were at Flagstaff Hill for approximately 20 minutes before Robert drove Phillips and Rachel home. Phillips stated that the interaction between Robert and Rachel appeared as though they were definitely more than just friends. Phillips was concerned about the relationship between Robert and Rachel and had later disclosed what he had observed to a senior member of the Bowen Surf Lifesaving Club. His name is Peter Clout. Peter Clout knew Rachel's parents, and Mr. Phillips said that he was concerned about the relationship due to, of one thing, the significant age difference between Robert and Rachel. Robert denies ever having been to Flagstaff Hill with Rachel, and therefore suggests that Phillips had fabricated the story about the three of them going to Flagstaff Hill and what he had subsequently observed there. At Robert Hytch's first criminal trial for the murder of Cheryl Antonio, it was suggested to Mr. Phillips that the trip to Flagstaff Hill had never occurred, yet Mr. Phillips strongly denied that. Hytch told the police that he had never, ever gone to look out at Flagstaff Hill with Rachel, and basically that he had no reason to, because their only travel together was either to or from life-saving training, which would not require a detour from their route to go to Flagstaff Hill. In several police interviews, Robert simply denied he had ever been to Flagstaff Hill, but later changed his story, saying that he may have been there with Rachel, but he could not recall that. This is another incident where Robert's story has changed over time, and even though there are several minor inconsistencies in his evidence, they all reduce his credibility. Phillips's evidence was accepted as credible, and that it was established that there was no possible motive for Phillips to fabricate such a story, as there was no animosity between him and Robert. In addition to this Flagstaff Hill incident, there were various members of the Surf Lifesaving Club who commented that Robert and Rachel had sometimes been seen to leave the beach for unexplained reasons a short time apart, and then both of them would reappear later. Each witness commented that there was no particular reason for them to leave the beach, as they were seen leaving towards the more remote areas of the foreshore, such as a rocky outcrop at the beach, and there was no particular operational patrol reason that required them to go to that location at that time. There are also rumours that Robert was seeing a young girl aged 15 or 16 years old, which led one friend, Mr. John Paul Robson, a local barber in Bowen, to warn Robert to be very careful about this alleged relationship. Robert did not deny any relationship, rather seemed to simply ignore Mr. Robson's unsolicited advice. The observations of behaviour between Robert and Rachel even led his sister, Colleen Lynette Aberson, to raise the issue of Robert and Rachel with Robert's father. Robert's father acted upon the information provided by his daughter, and as he had previously warned Robert not to be involved with Rachel. There was also general observations by other people in the Surf Lifesaving Club, including McQuilty Quirk, that Robert Hytch and Rachel were observed parked in Robert's car and having a discussion, in a way described as the way a couple in a relationship argue. In Rachel's diary, as detailed in episode 1, Rachel mentions 2 occasions on which she went to Robert's home at Rose Bay, and on both these visits she wrote that she had been in Robert's bedroom. Robert specifically denied that Rachel had ever been to his house, let alone in his bedroom. He was contradicted on this fact by his own brother, Scott Hytch, who recalled that Rachel had watched a video in their bedroom. Next, we'll go into some witnesses that were witnesses other than people at the Surf Lifesaving Club. These 2 witnesses are Brennan Reed and Nicole Andrea Stone. They were co-workers at a hotel where Robert worked, and revealed that they had had conversations with Robert where he'd stated words basically to the effect of that he was in a relationship with a young girl. He never identified the girl by name. In the incident with the conversation with Mr. Reed stated that he saw Rachel standing near Robert's car talking to him. There were only 2 people at the car. As Robert went into the hotel, Reed asked, "Is that your woman?" Hytch replied, "Yeah, sort of seeing her." Reed said at the time, Hytch also had a little smile on his face, but he did not think the statement was untruthful in any way. This incident, importantly, was reported to have occurred in the period just prior to Christmas in 1997. Mr. Reed confirmed that the girl he saw with Mr. Hytch on this occasion was in fact Cheryl Antonio. The incident with the other co-worker, Nicole Andrea Stone, said that during general conversation between herself and Robert when they were working at the hotel, they had a short discussion where she jokingly pointed out to Hytch a girl that was walking past the hotel. She jokingly commented to Hytch that he might be interested in this particular girl. Hytch responded to Stone saying that he already had a girl, that she was younger, that she was 16, and that she was a member of the Surf Lifesaving Club. In episode 3, we will go into more witnesses that have things to say